I ruined my very first harvest ever because I used the wrong drying method. 2 months of work, gone within one day. I don't want you to make the same mistake. That's why I'll show you the best way to dry and preserve your mushrooms without a dehydrator for less than 20 euros. When I first started growing on a budget, I used my oven and completely burned them. That's when I learned the hard way. Heat is your worst enemy. Here's the science. Even drying at low temperatures reduces quality. The higher the temperature, the worse the damage. Drying at 50 degrees Celsius, which is normal for dehydrators, compared to 25 degrees Celsius can cause up to 10% quality loss in just 30 minutes. And a dehydrator takes 8 to 12 hours for drying. The full study is linked below. Here's the solution. Desiccant packs. They absorb moisture without any heat whatsoever, so they are perfect for drying mushrooms. They also work for every type of mushroom. Now, there are many different desiccants, but most of them aren't suitable for drying your mushrooms. This video covers which are suited and also a pros and cons list. So let's get started. Here's what you need. Drying packs, a glass jar, airtight containers, paper towel, and parchment paper, plus a few basic household items. Here's the full list. Before we start drying, remove any remaining substrate from your mushrooms with a knife or scissors. While I'm cleaning these, let me quickly tell you why it's a great dehydrator alternative. It's less expensive, so they're perfect for beginners. There's no quality loss in mushrooms. You can reuse them practically indefinitely, so it's a one-time investment. Beginner-friendly with easy step-by-step instructions. Designed for drying and preserving, also allowing for effective long-term storage. Now, there are also downsides. If you've harvested more than 300 grams, a dehydrator might be more efficient, and also, it takes longer, since it's a gentler drying process. So overall, they're great for beginners on a budget who also want a proper storage option. Take some parchment paper or cardboard and place your mushrooms on it without them touching each other to avoid wet spots. Now, which drying packs are suited? Most importantly, the desiccant must be non-toxic. This should be self-explanatory. Next, make sure it's regenerable. Many desiccants are designed for one-time use, but you want ones you can reuse. Also, ensure they have proper moisture absorption so they are strong enough to remove all moisture from the mushrooms. Then make sure they're heat resistant up to 100 degrees Celsius as this is necessary for the regeneration process. Finally, the casing material should be made of non-woven fabric, which allows for optimal moisture absorption. Most desiccants don't meet these requirements. That's why we assigned our own drying packs especially for drying and preserving mushrooms. They're linked below, including free shipping if you want to skip the research. Otherwise, just make sure whatever you use meets these 5 requirements. Then, set up a regular fan on low for 12 to 24 hours. The longer, the better. This step removes up to 75% of moisture and speeds everything up significantly. You can skip it, but it'll take much longer. After 12 to 24 hours, they'll look and feel dry, but when you try to break them, they'll bend. That's a sign that there's still moisture left. Don't have a fan? No problem. Just let them air dry on cardboard for 24 hours. This will remove at least some moisture. First, you'll need your desiccant packs. I used 100 in this video. Then get your airtight container and put your drying packs inside. The more you use, the quicker your mushrooms will dry, and the more mushrooms you can dry at once. Place a layer of paper towel on top to avoid direct contact between your mushrooms and the desiccant. Make sure your container is 100% airtight so no moisture can enter from outside. Add your mushrooms on top, and for larger mushrooms, cut the caps off and split them in half. That's important so the desiccant can more easily remove the remaining moisture from the mushrooms. Now put the container somewhere dark at room temperature. Around 20 degrees Celsius is perfect. And wait for 12 to 24 hours. After 24 hours, you should remove the desiccant packs because they're saturated and can hold no more moisture. Take them out of your container. We need to reactivate them and remove the moisture. Make sure to place the paper towel together with your mushrooms back in the container and close it so they don't absorb new moisture from the environment. Then, spread your drying packs evenly on a baking sheet with parchment paper. Again, make sure to leave space between them. Turn on your oven, preferably on the fan setting, to 100 degrees Celsius, which is also 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Put your baking sheet in and wait for 60 to 90 minutes. That should be enough time to remove all the moisture and regenerate your drying packs. After that, take out the baking sheet and let everything cool down for 5 minutes. Want to be 100% sure they're dry? Weigh them. They should be around 2 grams. Saturated packs are 2.5 grams. But honestly, 90 minutes in the oven is usually enough, so this is optional. Now you can add the regenerated drying packs back to your container. I like to change the paper towel once I've regenerated my drying packs, as it also absorbed some of the moisture from the mushrooms. If properly pre-dried, usually 1 or 2 regeneration cycles should be enough. By the way, I made a calculator that shows exactly how many packs you need for any amount. Link in the description. Now, what if you don't have an oven? It's also possible to reactivate your desiccant packs in the microwave. For that, spread them evenly on a plate. I don't recommend using a microwave because it's not optimal for your drying packs, but it does work. Put the plate into the microwave and turn it on for 5 minutes around 550 watts. After that, take the plate out and put your drying packs on some paper towels to remove the moisture that just came out of the packs. Otherwise, they would pick it up again. You'll notice that there's some moisture on the plate. Remove it with a towel and let the plate cool for 1 to 2 minutes. After that, add the desiccant packs back to the plate and repeat the process. Repeat this 3 times total to make sure they're completely dry, or weigh them after each round. Before you store them, your mushrooms have to be cracker dry. Take out some of your mushrooms, preferably the thickest ones, and try to bend them. They should be brittle and break easily. If they still bend, they're not cracker dry. That's how you know they're ready for long-term storage. Storing them without proper drying will strongly affect the quality and might cause mold. Now, store your mushrooms in an airtight container like a glass mason jar. Avoid plastic containers or Ziploc bags, as plastic tends to become porous and leak air. Keep in mind that light, oxygen, and moisture are the biggest threats to your mushrooms. Add between 10 to 20 drying packs depending on the amount of mushrooms and close the lid tight so it's really airtight. They will remove any remaining moisture. Here's the science on storage conditions. Temperature is most critical. Keep them around 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Light also matters, but less so. One more thing. Don't store them as powder. The quality degrades much faster due to increased surface area. Only grind what you plan to use immediately. Yes, they'll eventually lose quality over time. That's unavoidable. But proper storage slows this down dramatically. Check your jar after 1 week and make sure your mushrooms are still cracker dry so there's no leak. Now, you know how to safely dry your mushrooms without worrying about the quality, and also understanding why drying packs are a great alternative. If you want to know how to grow your mushrooms, check out my complete beginner's guide for under €100. Thanks for watching.